Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another Ride in the Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. Today we have game 2 of our little tournament report. If you watched the last video, you know that we won our first game, so we are 1-0. And so for this round, we played against a guy named Sean, who is an AGA 1-dan, cool guy with a cool shirt, and it was a really fun game. This was probably my favorite game of the tournament. It was just a very dynamic one, went back and forth, lots of good exchanges and fighting, and just a all-around fun game. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the review. As per always, I'd like to thank my opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel. So let's go take a look at the game. Okay, so here we are in the game. We got white this game, and Sean opened with a 3-4 and a 4-4. Well, we did a 4-4 and a 3-4 facing. All these choices are fine. I don't see 3-3s too much, but that is perfectly fine. Sean approaches, we attach underneath. He hanes, we extend, and then he went and approached our corner. Here, I decided to back off, and then he connected, and then we exchanged, closing out this variation. And this is fine. So here we've got two corners. The 3-3 doesn't have a lot of potential off of it. It claims the corner, but it's hard to extend off of it effectively. So instead, we decided to go jump into the 3-3 over here. Sean blocks this way, and then does the hane variation, and we go and make these exchanges. And so at this point, obviously, the bottom is the interesting area. Again, it's hard to develop off of a third line stone, or of a 3-3 rather, so I don't really feel like playing that. I decided to just break up the side. We played here, Sean jumped, and then we extended here. I chose to play a fourth line stone here instead of a third line stone because we don't have much influence on this board, and our opponent has quite a bit. He's obviously got some fantastic influence here and some nice fourth line stones here. And so we really don't have much. That's why I decided to play a fourth line stone here and was happy to get another. Here we kind of see the slight weakness of the 3-3, because if black's going to play two stones in a corner, black would prefer it to be here as opposed to here. But that is fine. These are pretty minor details. So Sean didn't want to give us as much influence as we wanted, so he played on the outside. And my goal for the next few moves is just to make this thickness as meaningless as possible. So one of the downsides of taking influence like this is it gives your opponents points, right? You've got your trade. You're trading off potential, and they get points. The issue is the person who's getting territory already has that territory. Nothing more needs to happen. White already has their points here, as where black still needs to work to make this influence turn into something. That isn't a knock against influence. If you guys watch any of my videos, you know that I like influence. I prefer to take influence. So, but I'm very aware of the weaknesses. So that's what we're trying to do here for the next little bit. I looked at, do I want to slide here to make a base? Do we just want to leave these stones as is? Do we want to jump out? I first decided to just take this one exchange, just take the peep, over concentrate black a little more, see if this stone maybe will help later, and then I came back and tried to figure out, do I want to jump out or do I want to make a base? And I decided to make a base. If black wants to go surround, I can go jump in the corner and carve that out. Black took his sente and decided to play over here. Perfectly reasonable. And at this point, I didn't want to get surrounded. I didn't want black to be able to develop a huge moyo in the center and the left side if he was able to cap us off. So instead, I decided to jump out. Again, want to make this influence not that great. If black takes a turn here, we can do something like this, and it's just, there's a lot of stones over here, and there's a lot of strength, but what's black really going to get from it? So we played here, and black decided to play this little diagonal, which has the follow-up of R2. if we ignore this, let's just say we play something small, and black does this. Black can even get 4. It's a surprisingly large move, even though it's a first line move, because if white ignores, let's say white ignores again, then black actually gets a pretty reasonable corner, and obviously white's in a lot of trouble here. And if white responds to it, then white's responding to a first line stone, so it's pretty good, and it gets some good shape for black. Either way, with black playing here, I did not want him to get the follow up, so we just descended to fully seal off the corner. Black then came back and played this small knight's move, looking to get some strength in the center. Go after this group a little bit. But the question for this game, and kind of the next phase of the game as we've transitioned into middle game, is how strong is my group? Is my group strong enough? Do I need to play more moves here? And right now, I think the group's fine. So I decided to go break up the large area of potential on the left side. When we're looking at areas of potential, we've got the top, the left, and then this top right corner. But the left side is obviously the largest area. It's also next to what's probably the weakest group on the board. So decided to play here to go pressure this stone. I wanted to play a 4th line stone because if I played a 3rd line stone, it'd be too easy for my opponent to keep it low and get strength against this group. Here, playing a 4th line stone, our opponent can still play a move, play in a way that makes our group a little weaker, but at least here we're doing it with 3rd and 4th line stones as opposed to just 3rd line stones. So this is what happened, and I decided to extend here. And I was happy with this exchange because this was black's potential, and we just took it away, and even got some potential and a little bit of territory for ourselves. Also, it really hammers down on this corner. So that is why I was pretty surprised when black played this. I thought the corner needed a little more help. So I was expecting, I'm not sure if the kick is appropriate or just playing this or even just threatening to, looking to connect up. But I thought this was surprising. Black's obviously trying to build, something big in the center here, but we always know the center is hard to hold. But more importantly, I thought that this move was sente. Maybe black just plays something simple like this. I don't know. I don't know exactly where black would play. Black has options. None of them are too great because we can still slide under. But the Tanuki I thought was surprising. So I decided to go after the corner and play this move, which is a little tricky to respond to because if black tries to cut here, we get this, which likely kills this stone. So that would be a pretty terrible exchange, though it does make things significantly tougher for this group, especially now that this stone is here. So maybe black should have gone that way. Instead, black played here. This is pretty simple for us. We pull back, which makes this group considerably stronger. Black played the Hane to get some eye space, and we played this Peep, which felt really good. So here, we need to be aware of what's happening here. Black is quickly forming the L shape, which hopefully you guys know is not a living shape. So if we play here and black plays this, this is a dead shape, even if black plays first. The issue is we can't be thinking about killing this group, especially if it hasn't been surrounded yet. You can locally kill a group, but if it runs away, then what did you really get out of it? So name of the game is surrounding groups. So what we did here is we wanted to find a way to surround this to threaten the kill. And so I chose this, which takes the main direction that black would want to run out of the equation. So now black could play this way to get life, but that's still pretty painful. It's small life. It's in Gote. Instead, black chose to play here, and now we have a question. Are we gonna connect on top or connect on the side? The issue with playing on top is if we play this way, it kind of drives black into a direction where he's going to be naturally splitting our shape. Wasn't a huge fan of that. So instead I decided to play here. It strengthens this side. After taking the exchange over here with F2 and E2, this group feels fairly strong. So black descended, and we wanted to keep the pressure on and surround the group to force it to live small in the corner. I considered taking the turn, but it's it's possible that black can still break out pretty easily. So I decided to just back away a little bit, play this capping move. It's tougher for black to break through this. Black agreed and decided that now was the time to make life. Another reason that I like this move is that it has a nice follow-up here where we can look to break in. Black's obviously trying to form some potential here, and so breaking in is nice. Also, if we break in, these 4 stones potentially get a little bit weaker. So here black descended, and we got our strength, and black saw what was going on. He's reasonable at this game as well, and he went and played this knight's move to look to connect these 4 stones to these 3. And that was fine. I think this was a really good exchange for us, this whole exchange. And at the end of it, it's hard to see what this strength is doing. Of course, if any fights happen over here, this strength is going to affect it quite a bit. But looking at this board, we've got more points than black does, as long as black doesn't get something huge here. We've got Sente. We're in the middle game, so we care about strength of groups, and we care about potential. Looking at potential on this board, there are 2 areas of potential. Black has some good potential here. White has some good potential here. Looking at weak groups on the board, there are some weaknesses down here, but I'm comfortable enough with them that we don't need to do anything now. So I decided to do something up here, and I figured let's build our potential so that we can then actively reduce his potential. So that is why I chose this. Black wasn't going to just keep on following what I'm doing. Right now we've had a lot of the sensei, we've had a lot of the control of the game, especially as white. That's a strange thing. So black did not respond to this, instead extended here. So this was a big question mark of the game, because especially now that black has this, we can kind of see all the weaknesses that are in our shape, right? These 2 stones aren't really connected yet. These 2 stones aren't really connected yet. These 2 stones aren't really connected yet. These 2 groups aren't really connected yet. There's lots of cuts here. Lots and lots and lots of cuts. The other part of it is, we care about strength of groups and we care about potential. So we had a lot of potential here, right? We could have played this and gotten potential ourselves. But we played away, and then black played this. So now the potential is gone. So we wouldn't play here for potential concerns. We would play here for strength of concerns. So that's a question. Is our group strong enough to play away right now? Because there is another big area of potential on the board, which is this top center group. So do we have the timing to go do something right now, or do we owe a move down here? Is this move Sente? And so that's the big question in the game, and I'll leave it to you guys to answer it. Would you respond down here, treat this move as Sente, or do you think that this move is Gote and we can play away? So let me know in the comments how you would approach this. You'll see how I approached it. I said this move was Gote, and I went and invaded here. Black played on top, we extended, black extended, we played the Hane, black played the Hane, and now we're alive here. I, of course, considered playing p17 right now, but I didn't think that was pertinent. We got this in Sente. I wanted to come back here and, fix things up a little bit. We do have to acknowledge that there are lots of cuts, there's lots of things going on here. And so I came back to clean this up. And maybe I didn't clean it the right way. I played this attachment, but as you're going to see, things get pretty hectic here. And it may have been simpler to play something like this, to keep this, this connected. Of course, there's still this cut, right? So we still need to be mindful. But if black takes this, we've got plenty of time to go and fix this. So I think it was likely a mistake to fix this way. But I'm really glad I came back over here and did something, because as you're going to see, this gets pretty tough. So black starts his assault here. We do block this, and then black plays here. And already things are going to start being tough. If we play this way, I'm unsure we're going to make a living group here. And even if we do, black might end up getting too much here. So I decided that I wanted to make strength other ways. And so I decided to play here first, fully expecting black to jump, and black did jump. After this, I decided to connect these groups up, knowing that black was absolutely going to push and absolutely going to cut, and that is what happened here. But I'd done quite a bit of reading for this move in particular. The time settings for this tournament were really, really, really slow. Each player had 40 minutes of main time, and we're using Fisher time of plus 15 seconds. So every move you make, you get an additional 15 seconds added to your clock. So the games were like 2 hours. So if you wanted to go into Think Tank and think for a move for 5-10 minutes, you had plenty of time to do it. And this is one where I did that. So after, before making this connection, I knew that black was going to push, and I knew black was going to cut. So I started with this, which threatens to get life, right? If black just wants to do this, we're obviously alive and in great control of the game. So black really can't do that. So black extended here, and so I connected, which threatens similar things. And so black pushed through, and I assumed that this was going to be the case. I assumed I was potentially going to sacrifice these stones, but plan B was if black went this way, was that I was going to push this group up and use this weakness to plan my escape, and just break out this way and try to run to friends over here. And all this is forced because this is an Atari. Obviously, this is Atari. This threatens to kill the stones. We play here, which threatens to kill this stone, which means we'd have life. So black extended, we extended here. Black extended, we extended, black extended. And this was another move that I spent a long time on. I really wanted to play this small knights move, and this is where I ended up playing it. AI, of course, hates this move because AI knows that we've got things down here, and if we play this and then this, we get to connect up, and we'll still be able to live. So AI wanted something down here. There are other variations. Black wouldn't necessarily respond that way, but that is not how we played. I did this with the intent of playing the loose ladder. It gets funky. I read out that the ladder worked, but after the fact, I saw that there were some variations that might change it, but I still think we are in a good position with it. Either way, we played here, and black decided to claim his prize, which is his right to do. It's worth noting through all this that this group isn't alive yet if black isn't connected here. So when black played here, we can play this to threaten to disconnect black. Black played here, and we could look at this, but this is pretty dangerous, this cut here. And so I decided before doing that I wanted to fix that cut. And a nice proactive way to fix it is with this move. Now, if black plays this, it's a pretty clean capture, and black's still going to have to come back and play this, though it's gonna end in gote for us. So I played this, black extended. I had to fix the cut here now. So I fixed the cut, and black connected underneath because black needed to live. So I was pretty happy with this, and managed to get Sente out of it again, and decided to use that Sente to play this very large move. From a strength perspective, it helps out a lot. Obviously, from a potential standpoint, it's pretty good, though it doesn't do anything for the center. But that's fine. This was a big move, and I kind of saw this as my declaration of victory, even though AI says this game is perfectly even now. As I was playing, I felt pretty good. Sean played a pretty surprising series of moves here. He started with this shoulder hit. I'm not really sure what this threatens, so I didn't feel like I needed to play here or here, though I did consider this move. but I think the center is more important. So I just decided to play here. There's some Aji with this cut. Now that this stone's here, this threatens the Hane at the head of 3. And instead of responding to this, Sean played here. Again, I thought this was pretty surprising. I thought the center was a much larger area. This is kind of an endgame move. And yeah, it looks to throw a monkey jump in there, but I don't know, seems kind of small. So I decided that the center was more important, and I took this. Hane. Sean used this timing to just capture these stones, and then I extended here. So this obviously threatens to kill these 2 stones if I play here, but more importantly, it gets strength facing the last area of potential on this board. Sean did decide to save these 2 stones, which I was also surprised with, because if we look at whether or not these stones should be saved, we can ask the 3 questions that I always ask, which is, do these stones affect the life and death status of any groups on this board? And the answer to that is kind of, right? If black plays this, we play here, and now we're just alive. The thing is, if black saves, we can just play a move like this, and we've already got an eye here, potentially still 2 eyes there, and we're probably going to be able to get an eye here or connect up. So white's not going to struggle to live here. So if that's the case, I'd kind of treat that question as no, it does not affect the life and death status of anything on this board. So then you go to the next question. Do the stones have any meaningful follow-ups? Nah, they're already surrounded. They've got nothing except this cut. But again, once black plays here, I'm going to fix the cut. And then the third question is, are they simply worth enough points to save? I don't think so. I think I think it would have been stronger to play a move like this, or if we're going to play an endgame move, go do this, because this is pretty large endgame over here. But black decided to save the stones. So I played here, looking to move in, and black peeped. I'm a big proponent of not just blindly connecting peeps. Is there a better, cleaner way to do it? In this case, if we play here, now the peep doesn't work because we can Atari, and then play here, and the stones get captured. There is a sneaky here, though, that I missed, which is black has some forcing moves to fix that sequence. Black could play here, threatening to push through, and then black could play here, which threatens the cut to Atari this, right? If we fix now, black gets this into this, and that's a pretty big loss. And if we fix here, now this doesn't work anymore because we can no longer play here. Tough sequence to find, though. That's a tough sequence to find. I didn't see it. My opponent didn't see it. He decided to pull back. I decided to connect. At this point, ironically, he does find this move, but it doesn't do too much here. We just extend, black plays here, and I decide to just do this just to bamboo up. If black wants to go for this stone, he can have it. I would not save it. But here, black plays this, which it's a reduction move. But if black played a move like this, and then we played here, black can push in this way, and then here. And we're really only getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. That's not a lot of points to really be protecting here. I think there's more than 8 points of potential there. Also, this isn't going to kill the group. We're still actually going to get points here. So really, it's probably only like a 5-point reduction. And then when the dust settles here, I'll be able to get a move like this that probably rips more than 5 points away from black. With that said, I did decide to play here. Black pulls back. I play here, which threatens the cut. We can't just cut. We couldn't just cut here because this is a pretty easy connection, and we can't cut here because the same thing. This will just connect back. So I play here. He connects, and now we go take our big move. We already have an eye here. We probably have half another eye as well. So we have got 1 eye here, and all we need to do is get another eye or connect up here, and things will be fine. Also, I think we can get 2 eyes in Sente, because if black plays here, we've got this into this, and I think we get a second eye. So I think we always had a second eye here, but it doesn't matter. This is all endgame stuff. So a move like this is much larger. even better than that, black played the third line move here, slinked away quite a bit. So I took this peep, and then just played over here to threaten to connect and get some more eye space. And at this point in time, I think the writing's on the wall. We're pretty much in endgame. There are some sequences that black can do that are annoying. Again, oops, that's the wrong order. Black can play here, and then this connection. This is pretty big. That didn't get played in the game. But the rest is pretty much just endgame. Came back. This move was huge. This move's somewhat big by black. I think I could have ignored this. Now's probably the time to play this. But I came back and played here. But these are all pretty small things. This is all kind of standard stuff. Black takes the turn here. I cut this off, and the game's pretty much settled now. As long as nothing drastic happens, white's ahead. With that said, something drastic did happen, but again, we both missed it. But it's worth looking into. Black eventually plays here, which actually threatens to kill this group. Because if we play away, let's just say we play this now. This is your classic L shape. So we can do this, and white is dead. But that's okay, because I played the sensei move of this, which actually isn't sensei. But black didn't know that either. We were both low on time at this point in time, so he fixed, I threatened, he fixed, and then I fixed over here, and we just continued with endgame until the end of the game looked like this, where we won by 12.5 points. So pretty awesome, feeling pretty good now. We've started the tournament 2-0. We've only got one more game because we're not playing the second day. I have a strong feeling that we'll likely be playing a stronger one-dan player in the next rounds, but I look forward to playing against stronger players, so I am here for it, and hopefully you guys are as well. Either way, that's where we're going to end this one, so thanks for coming out for another Ride in the Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.